Hey there guys, and welcome back to another video on my channel. And in this video we are going to learn about functions and inside a class. And before we go further, let me just quickly tell you a change I have done. I have also made a property called current speed, which is equal to 0, and by default the current speed will be equal to 0 for all the objects. So I have never really assigned current speed equal to 0 anywhere over here. I have directly printed it, and as you can see, it printed me 0. If you don't believe me, I'll run it again. See, same output. So let's just get to the functions now. To make a function inside a class, firstly we make functions inside the class which relate to that class. So basically, if I am making a function inside my car class, logically and conceptually it should be related to the car. Okay, so I'll just quickly make a function to accelerate my car. So to make a function inside a class, we make it public first so that it's accessible anywhere in the project. I don't want any return type, and I want a name accelerates. Don't know, no parameters, just print accelerates whenever this function is called. So it's pretty much the same way as you declare the functions, or in Java it's just this public is added, and the rest of it is same. You can have return types, you can have parameters, you can have multiple statements, the rest of that is same. So if I run this right now, nothing will happen because I have never really called my function inside my main. And here's the thing: to access anything inside a class, we need an object or a variable of a class, unless it's static. So simply speaking, these static objects or static functions of the class can be accessed by without creating a variable, but anything which is not static needs an object of a class to be accessed. So to call this accelerate function, I need an object. So I have SUV. I will write SUV.accelerate and Lambo.accelerate. So what I'm trying to tell you is, simply speaking, see this and this. To access my type, which was not static, I needed an object so that I can refer it to. Okay, so I created an object named SUV. I referred that to SUV's type, set that equal to SUV. But in case of a static variable, which was tires, I didn't need an object. I simply wrote the name of the class and accessed the variable. Okay, try this yourself. Don't create any object. Just set car.tires equal to 4 and print car.tires. You will see the value you set. Okay, just try that on your own. It's just a homework, and you will be just to make sure that you can access static things inside a class without declaring an object. So without a further delay, let's just continue. Since my accelerate is not static, I need an object to call it. So I will run it now, and it will run perfectly fine. As you can see, accelerated and accelerating, but it didn't change my current speed of the cars. Now here's the thing. What I want to do is, I want to increase the current speed of the object used to call this accelerate. So what I am trying to say is, since SUV is calling accelerate, I want the current speed of the SUV to increase by 10. And to access the object which is used to call the function inside the function, we have this keyword, this dot current speed plus equal to 10. So simply what this means is that over here the SUV is used to call the function, right? So this over here will be same as the SUV. So it's simply writing the SUV.current speed. But since we cannot directly access SUV over here because we never declared it, we write the this keyword. So this will be basically getting the this dot current speed, increase it by 10. So that's what it will be doing. And for the case of the Lambo.accelerate, it will get the Lambo's current speed. This will now refer to Lambo. It will get its current speed and increase it by 10. Don't believe me? Let me show you. See, now the current speed will increase by 10. If I don't run this function for Lambo, the current speed for only SUV will be increased, as you can see. So basically this refers to the object used to access the function. Alright? Now let me just get quickly to the static functions. So in what cases do you need a static function? You need a static function when you don't want to use an object to call a function. Okay? Or simply meaning that the function does something about the class but not about the objects of the class. Like say for example, if I want to print what does the car do. Okay? Each car does the same thing. It goes vroom vroom. And there is no car which will not go vroom vroom. Okay? So to do that, I'll just say public static void about car. Just print that the car goes vroom vroom. So simply speaking, when you don't want to use an object to call a function, or you're creating such a function which has nothing to do with the objects, you can create a static function which has something to do with the class but nothing to do with the objects of the class. So simply speaking, this prints me what does the car, how does the car goes, but it doesn't it doesn't really relates to the the cars. So, or simply speaking, another reason why you will need a static function over here is if you want to convert kilometers to miles. Okay, that nothing has always something to do with the cars, but it has something to do with about cars, because the car speed will be either measured in kilometers or in miles per hour. So that's one more example. So now I can access that function, that static function, simply by writing my variable name, my class name dot the function name. See, the car goes vroom vroom. So why do we need a static function? We need a static function when we don't want to use an object to call a function. Because simply, I'll give you a pretty good example, right? I can use a variable Lambo over here and run this, and it will still do the same, right? But the thing over here is, like say for example, I'll just erase all of this because we don't need all of this now. See, there is no cars created right now, but that doesn't mean that the cars won't go vroom vroom. The universal fact about the car is they go vroom vroom, right? So to access the about car function, I need to create a variable right now. Okay, SUV dot about car, and now I can run it. So the car goes vroom vroom. It pretty much is the same thing, but I had to create a variable for the car or for the or an object for the car. Now this object will take a memory for this in the 3 integers, 1 string. This object will take that much memory. So say for example, if you have a property, if you have n number of properties, and you just want to see about car, and for that you're creating an object SUV, which is going to take that n number of memory, and the memory required for those n number of parameters. It makes the inefficient program. How? Because you don't need an object to call this function, because this function does nothing with the objects, right? But you are creating an object which will be taking this much amount of memory required by this much amount of parameters to call a function which has nothing to do with them, right? So it's say this function is, say the variable for our car object takes 4 bytes. So we are using 4 bytes extra to do something which has nothing to do with this 4 bytes. So we declare static functions so that we can save those 4 bytes and still get the information what do we want. So as you can see, it will still print the car goes vroom vroom. So again, why did we need to create the static functions? So that we can use functions without creating an object. We have to use static. We can make static functions. Okay, so this was pretty much it about this video. If you don't get any of this, it's okay. The thing you should get right now is that you can create functions inside a class. The functions can be static and can be non-static. So non-static and static, and you call static functions by using the name of the class dot name of the function. You can call non-static functions, but you need an object for them, and you call them by using the object name which you create dot the function name. And to access the object which is calling the function, you use this keyword. These functions are basically normal functions. They can have return types like int. They can have more parameters. It's fine. So in the next video we are going to see stuff like that, and then that's pretty much it. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna end this video here. If you don't get this, don't worry, there will be a practice video followed by when we complete everything about the functions, there will be a practice video to get you a hang of functions. Thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye.